Hi, welcome to All the Right Sounds. My name is Katharine and you are watching level 2 of my program. So level 2 is really exciting. We are taking all of the vowel sounds and the consonant sounds that your child is feeling really confident about, especially the vowels because the hand gestures are important, right? And we are now going to teach them how to actually read and blend these words together. It's really fun and exciting. This is a strategy I've used for kids with dyslexia, ADHD, kids who are coming to me where nothing has worked for them and they have done an amazing job. So I want to show you this strategy and you can have so much fun with your kid. So level 2, you received or downloaded a lot of these cards that are 3-letter words, and these are called CVC, that stands for consonant, vowel, consonant. This is the foundation, the basics of reading. And I gave you a lot of them for every single vowel. That way you have enough to drill, but you should be only using just a few each time, maybe 5 to 10, each time that you work with your kids. Okay, so what you're gonna need for a lesson is some Play-Doh, or if you want to use kinetic sand, you can. A dry erase board and marker or something to write with. That is for the spelling piece. And then you can either have letter cards or the consonant, vowel, consonant cards that I made for you that you can print out. And that's it. If you want to have a tray to keep things contained, that is helpful as well. Okay, so here's what you do. First, you are going to pick a vowel, or if you notice then your cards are already grouped in vowels, and then you're going to have a consonant, a vowel, and a consonant. And you're going to roll the Play-Doh into balls. And what that represents is that every single letter is a sound, and that sound is represented by something kinesthetic and tactile, a Play-Doh ball. You'll notice on the cards, some of them already have the sound balls to represent. That's a visual cue for kids. Some of them do not, because I wanted students to start thinking for themselves of how many sounds there are. So how many sound balls do I need? So you have the option of both. You can even have kids draw the sound balls underneath the words. That comes in handy when it comes to spelling, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so here we go. You have a consonant, a vowel, and a consonant. They already know that this is the hand gesture for so when they have the sound, they're gonna smash each Play-Doh and go s, and then they'll squeeze it together and make one big sound ball, sun. And for the kids, it's really fun to smash it, and you'll compliment them and say like, wow, that's amazing, you did great, you read sun. So we're gonna keep these two the same. The next word, you're not gonna do something fancy or random. You're just gonna change the very first consonant. That way everything stays consistent. This happens here. I've grouped your cards where the last consonant is the same and then the vowel stays the same, so it's only the first consonant that changes. So you can use these cards or you can use letter cards and do it again. Run, and then squeeze them together. Then you'll do it maybe one more time. Fun. And then if they're getting the hang of it, you can switch this vowel card out to swap with a different vowel. Maybe this might be something you do after a couple of weeks when they are comfortable with one vowel, or you can speed it up for your child and jump to another vowel within the very first lesson. Notice how when I switched it, it's an actual word. Fin is a real word. I know that there are theories out there where you should be doing nonsense words. I work with so many kids with language disabilities, differences, or they're second language learners, and I have learned that giving them nonsense words is like a whole nother mind game where they are having to guess whether that's a word or that's not a word, or are they crazy that they didn't know that that was a word. So I always make sure they are always real words. So I have the word fin, and again, smash, and then squeeze them together. It slows down their processing of sounding out the words, squeeze it together, and they're good to go. Another thing is you will notice that I did not use any B's, P's, or D's. The reason for that is if you know your child has signs of dyslexia or is dyslexic, I would not start reading by also asking them this really confusing question of whether that's a B, a P, a D, or a Q, because those are very common to be really confused. So I would teach lessons on these separately, and then once they have it, I slowly add them back in. But that doesn't impact the fact that they can still read without these letters at first. Also notice that I do not use any 2-letter digraphs like f or ch. That is something that comes in later in the sequence. And I also don't use 2 vowels together. I don't use 2 consonants together like flash. I'm not going to do that right now. We're just going to go with the basics of the 3-letter words. This will guarantee that your child's foundation of reading is really solid before we start adding nuances to it or adding another little layers to it. The spelling piece. A lot of times we just assume that if a kid can read, they can spell. That doesn't actually correlate like that always. So when they are reading, you are giving them the letters. So they don't have to depend on their ears, they're just looking at it. So for spelling, what you're gonna do is use the same words, but you're going to take the visual away. So you might hold it in your hand, or you might have it under the table, and you know what words you're going to be giving them. And now they're practicing strengthening their ear or their listening muscles. So you can say the same word, fin, and you can say, okay, how many sounds do you hear? And they have to make the sound balls, smash them again, f, eh, n, and then they will spell it, f, eh, n. And then I want, this is very important, I want kids to always be able to transfer what they just did onto the paper. So then I have them do a sound ball check, get it, instead of a sound check. And I'll have them write, eh, n, and draw the sound balls onto the board, because when they are writing, they may not have Play-Doh on hand, but they certainly can draw quick dots to just double check or sound ball check that they spelled it phonetically correct. So that's spelling. Then you have reading. I hope that this is not too complex. It's very easy. Once you give it a try, it'll be something that feels very fun, playful for you and your child. I also made a kid-friendly version of everything I just shared with you. So you could just play that lesson to the child or student, and they can watch me teach them how sound balls work, and then you can connect it in real life with the Play-Dohs and practice it together. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on level 3. Oh, and remember to subscribe and like this video, and also follow me on Instagram and Facebook for more tips. See you next time. Bye.